PID controller is something that you must understand if you are really into electronics and robotics. In this video, I'll be explaining what PID controller is, how we use it in robotics, and by the end of this video, you should be having a really good understanding of PID and you should be able to start implementing this in your robots. Okay, so imagine you made a line follower robot like this. You uploaded the code, you turned it on, and everything is working fine. And then it started following a line. And at some point, it will be turning left and it will be turning right, depending on the direction of the line. Sometimes, when the robot goes left, there is a chance that it might go too far left. And in order to correct itself, it will be turning right. But instead of a small turn, there is a chance that it might turn too far right, and then it starts oscillating until the end of the line. This is not an expected behavior. But why does it happen? Because most of the traditional line follower robots that we usually build will be on-off control. If the robot needs to turn right, it will be disabling or turning off the motor on the right side and the left one will be spinning. So it will be turning right. If it needs to turn left, it will be disabling the motor, it will be turning off the motor on the left side so that it will be turning left. So that's basically the problem of on-off control or digital control. And guys, this problem is not just for line follower robots. This can happen to self-balancing robots that is trying to stay upright. It can happen to a drone that is trying to maintain an altitude, and this actually happens to a lot of robots. But instead of using this, we will be using PID controller in order to reduce these kind of issues. PID stands for proportional integral derivative. So instead of simply turning on and off a motor, we will be using analog signals to drive a motor with an effort but just enough to reduce the error. So basically, in all these cases, there is a value that we want and the value that we are getting. So the difference between these two values is all that matters. Let's imagine a self-balancing robot. In order to make it stand upright, the value that we want will be 90 degree, and that value is called set point. And then there will be a value that we will be getting, and this value is called process variable. And the difference between a process variable and the set point is called error. So if the set point is 90 degree and the process variable is 97 degree, then the error value will be minus 7 degree. That is 90 degree minus 97 degree. So the function of PID controller is simple. It will be looking at the error value and it will decide how hard to push or how much effort the robot needs to make in order to reduce the error to zero. So how do we calculate this analog effort? In order to do that, we use this very simple formula. Output is equal to Kp into error plus Ki into error total plus Kd into error change. So this is basically the PID formula. The Kp, Ki and Kd are the constants that we will be providing from our side. The first part uses the error right now, and that is P. The second part uses the total of all past errors, and the third part uses how fast error is changing, and that will be D. But don't worry guys, I know it's a little bit confusing, but let me explain to you in a simple way. So once we figure out this analog value, that value can be applied as correction. For example, the speed of the motor now will be a base speed plus or minus this correction value. Okay, the first part is proportional or P. Proportional means matching the size of. That means the correction matches the size of error. In simple words, the more wrong you are, the harder you turn. So the correction will be Kp into error. Alright, so keep it in mind. Now, in our line follower robot, let's say the value of Kp is 10. Alright, now let's say the robot is 1 centimeter off the line. So what will be the correction value? That will be Kp into 1 centimeter. Kp is 10, so the correction value will be 10. So the wheel speed changes by only 10. The robot turns very gently. Now, let's say the robot is 5 centimeter off the line. Now the error will be 5, right? So the output or the correction will be 10 into 5, that will be 50. So the wheel speed changes by 50. The robot turns much harder. This is the whole idea. But imagine, in our line follower, the right motor is spinning a little bit slower than the left motor. In that case, the value of Kp will be a really small value and it will be trying to correct the speed of the motor so that both of them are the same. But if the Kp value is too small, the motor might not be able to make that correction. Even though we don't see that difference very quickly, eventually these errors will add up and it will make a huge difference. So what I or integral does is it will look at the history of the error. It adds up all the errors over time. If the error does not go away, this total keeps growing and growing. It grows and grows until it becomes strong enough to fix the problem. So the correction value here will be Ki into total of all past errors. With respect to code, every time the loop runs, we'll be using a value, a variable that will be collecting or summing up all the errors that we have been seeing in the previous runs. Then we multiply that with the constant value k, and that value will be used for calculating the correction. For example, our robot is stuck 3 millimeters to the right because of the weak motor. Let us say the loop runs 100 times every second. After the first loop, the total will be 3. After the 10th loop, the total will be 30. After the 100th loop, the total will be 300. So after one full second, the total keeps growing. Even if the Ki is a very small number, this growing total makes the output bigger and bigger, and the wheel speed difference slowly increases. And finally, it becomes strong enough to beat the weak motor and pull the robot back to the center. And when the robot reaches center, the error becomes 0. So in a way, we can say that the integral is like a memory of all the errors. And guys, before going forward, let me share with you something that might be really helpful for you. If you are really into electronics and robotics and home automation, then you know circuits and PCBs will always be a part of your life. And if you have been watching our videos, we have been using a tool called Altium PCB Designer for the past few years in order to draw circuit and create PCBs for our projects. Altium has so many beginner-friendly tools that helps us to draw the circuit and design the PCBs, whether it is for hobby projects or for professional use. We always prefer creating PCBs for our projects because it helps to keep the circuit clean and neat and helps to get rid of all the nasty wires hanging around. We can even see how the PCB actually looks like even before production in 3D in Altium PCB Designer. If you're a DIY electronics enthusiast, you're going to love it. So make sure you check it out. You will not regret it. The link is in the description down below. Now, the final one, D or derivative. And this is a clever one. It won't be looking at how big the error is or how long we have been having this error. But instead, it will be checking how fast the error is changing. And then it will use that to predict what will be happening next. Yes, in a way, predicting the future. So here, the correction value will be KD into error now minus error before. Let me give you an example. Let's say your robot is 5 centimeters off the line. P sees this as a big error, so it turns the wheel hard. That's a good thing. The robot starts coming back fast. Alright? That means in the following loops, the error should start reducing. Let's say in the first loop, the error is 5. In the second one, it will be 4. In the third one, it will be 3. In the fourth one, it will be 2. And in the final one, it will be 1. So here we can see the value of the error is dropping very fast. That's actually a really good thing. But the problem is there is a chance that once it reaches the line, once the error has been corrected, there is a chance that it might go a little bit off to the other side because of how fast the error is being corrected. But this value, derivative or D, sees this coming and it will predict this will happen. It looks at the change. From 2 to 1, the error changed by 1. D takes that change and pushes against the correction. So it reduces the wheel speed difference before the robot reaches the center. In other words, as the robot approaches the center, it will start slowing the correction. And once it reaches the center, it will not be going to the other side. So now let's put it all together. P looks at now, or how far the robot is from the line at the moment. I looks at the past, how long the robot have been on the wrong side. And D looks at the future, if the robot is coming back too fast. And if we add all these value together, we will be able to get the correction value. So this is basically the PID controller. If you have any doubts, make sure you ask it in the comments down below. See you in the next video.